All right, welcome to We Are Soccer. Today is Bundesliga Chat Time. We've got our Bundesliga expert Nate with us.
Hello.
Welcome, Nate, and cheers.
Prost.
All right, on tap today, we are going to talk about the RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund game that happened in the Cup, correct?
Yep. It was a 4-1 slaughtering. Nothing to talk about. Yeah, moving on.
No, sir. That was it was quite the game.
Yep.
I do want to start off with, we'll talk about this game, which was the Polka Cup, the German Cup, which is comparable to the FA Cup in England. And then we'll talk about some of the games that happened last weekend in the Bundesliga and then upcoming games for this weekend. So lots to talk about. We may even have a little Jurgen Klinsmann discussion at the end. So stay tuned for the whole thing. Before we start talking about the RB Leipzig versus Borussia Dortmund game, the actual game where they kick a ball, I do want to say that the graphics on screen,
The graphics won the day.
oh my word, they were so good.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when the camera comes into the field and they got all the hologram graphics on there.
Floating ball.
The floating ball.
Magic of the floating ball.
When the teams walk out, they've got the ball on a little pedestal and it's floating. Obviously, it's like magnetic or something, but I've just seen that.
It's German magic.
Let's go with German magic.
It's German magic. They have magical people down there that just cast spells. That wasn't actually graphics. That was just all. If you're there live, it actually happens.
Well, there wasn't very many people live there. I don't think they had fans, but it was cool to watch. The game got off to a pretty good start. Yes, the game ended 4-1, Borussia Dortmund winning.
Yeah,
great game though. I got to be honest, it was 4-1, but there was a point there where it was 3-1, and RB Leipzig could have made it 3-3 and gone even past that.
And honestly, that was a bit of a joke because the scoreline absolutely does not tell the story of the game. So, you look at it on the onset and you go, Dortmund took it to Leipzig. Yes, in the first half they absolutely did. You had a Leipzig team that was pressuring Dortmund, and Dortmund got them on the counter several times. You look at the possession, and we were talking about this earlier. If I would have told you the team in the lead had only 40% possession of the ball, would you have actually believed it? That's normally not common, but that's what was happening. Leipzig, high pressure, heavy pressure, and then Dortmund several times caught them on the counter. First goal coming from one Jadon Sancho. Have you heard of him?
I've heard of that, yes. They're English, by the way.
English
Great
from
player.
Yeah. So very popular player right now because everyone thinks he's going to leave. I'm starting to think different, but who knows? And I remember you said bad defending. Bad defending was your first comment.
My first comment overall was what a brilliant goal. He cuts in, puts it on his right foot, bends it to that far post. Absolutely stunning goal. But then when you take a second look, the two defenders come together, and the two defenders, they both look at each other and go, you got him, I got him, you got him. Oh, shit, the ball's in the back of the net.
So, and I agree, but too loose for that strike to happen. However, he did put it basically through two defender legs that were kind of going like this, squeezed right in and hooked in. It was solid goal.
I agree.
So, but poor defending, they should have probably closed him down.
Yeah, close him down. And it looked like, as I said, the two defenders were, are you going to close him down? Am I going to close him down? All right, I'm going to go and close him down. Oh, crap, here comes a shot. It's in the back of the net. Phenomenal goal. And to hit upon your point there about the possession, yes, I think that's Dortmund's game, right? They are more than happy to give the opposing team possession of the ball. You go ahead, have the lion's share of possession of the ball, because we've got Royce, we've got Sancho, we got Bellingham, and we got Haaland. And look at the speed that we've got here. So we're going to force you into a turnover, in the middle of the field or just over the middle of the field, and then we're going to go and we're going to counter and we're going to see what we can do. And that was their game plan, and they executed it phenomenally.
And it was almost like Leipzig's strategy was to recognize that they're shaky a bit in the back line. If Dortmund is that's not been their strong suit all season, and their talent is up front. So if we press you and if you can never get the ball to the talented guys, then we'll be good. But what happened was they did, and it cracked them open like an egg every time they did it. Yep. And the big battle that I thought throughout the whole day was Haaland, the two big men. Yep. Haaland, and I'm going to say the name wrong because I just can't say things right, is Upmakendo. the big center back who's actually going to be playing following Nagelsmann to Bayern Munich is actually officially signed.
Yep.
Those two went at it all day long, and it was impressive.
It was impressive. It was fun to watch, and that's kind of how that second goal came about, right?
Yep.
They went at it, and Haaland kind of cut it back. Watched that defender go straight down, and I don't know how he got so much power with his left foot with such a little backswing to get that ball over. What a great goal!
I felt like Haaland shook Upakendo off like it was nothing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
just destroyed him and put him in the back of the net. Now at the other end, though, after that happened, around the 40-minute, Upakendo came back with a tackle straight out of nowhere.
Yep.
Coming right from behind. It looked like Haaland was on goal, flying out of nowhere, and actually won the ball quite brilliantly. And that was the rest of the night with those two. They were both going just back and forth. He'd win some, Haaland would win some. And it was actually quite entertaining to watch from that aspect for those two going at it.
It was a nice battle to watch. I will say everybody's looking at Haaland and everybody's looking at Sancho because he scored 2 goals. I believe that's 4 goals in 2 games now for him against Leipzig. But everybody's looking at those two. For me, the key for Borussia Dortmund today, the linchpin to everything was Marco Reus. That guy, assist, just the guy who links everything together. And you can tell he is very well respected because after every assist he had, the player who scored the goal came back and started pointing at him.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
he's the captain for the reason.
Yeah, he's the captain, but the playmaker. He's almost for people who maybe don't know Bundesliga and kind of what we're talking about. Maybe not this year so much, but last year, he for me is very similar to what Roberto Firmino did for Liverpool. Right? There's no Mane and no Salah without Firmino feeding that ball, coming back and pushing that little ball through for those guys to run onto. That's what Marco Reus did today, and that's what he's been doing all season. He's that linchpin, getting the ball in the back and then leading those 2 or 3 forwards through.
And he's been the staple for Dortmund for years, and likely will be for another few years to come and retire there as the Dortmund legend, and go out. But yeah, I totally agree with you. He was kind of the unsung hero of the match in that he didn't really get any goals, but was constantly contributing to attack and had the 2 assists. So
agreed. So as we mentioned earlier, 4-1 final, but there was a point where early in the second half, Leipzig really just came at it. They put a ball in the net, and then they could have had 2 or 3 more.
The second half was all Leipzig.
Yeah.
I mean, the second half really was, and that's why I said it does. The scoreline did not really tell the story because you're right. Second half came on. Leipzig brought on Poulsen, who really changed the whole game as the center forward. Really did, had various opportunities. They had that goalkeeper mistake, which was the other opportunity that they could have had a goal, and a lot of near misses for Leipzig, which could have easily at around the 75th, 76th minute mark should have been easily 3-3.
Absolutely, should have been 3-3 right there. But Dortmund kind of held firm. Leipzig didn't take their chances. Then Borussia Dortmund go ahead and put another one in the net and really seal this one up. And something that was fun to watch. Yes, Dortmund could put the ball in the net and have some fun doing it. But man, they love just scoring goals, high-fiving each other, and you can tell it's a bunch of young guys just having fun on the field playing.
It's a team.
It's an actual team that I really, really hope that team doesn't get broken up.
Well, I don't think it's going to. Like people think it is. When you see Haaland, the last game, the league match with Leipzig, who is out, literally, it's not a figuratively, literally cheering for his team, cheering for Sancho,
jumping up,
fist pumping, going, in that important game, as he knows that he has something on the line with them making the Champions League. Torsic has done a very good job bringing that whole team together since taking over as a manager. And apparently he has now had his contract extended as assistant manager by the Dortmund CEO. So it looks like he's going to stay on, which could be really interesting and good. You get maybe a tactical coach in. that they have coming in, and they have Torsic maybe just managing as an assistant coach, making sure everyone stays together and play together. And this could be a good chemistry for Dortmund going forward into next season.
It really could. I think obviously if you can keep Haaland, great. If they don't cash in because it's 100+ million there, if they don't cash in on Sancho because that's 50, 60, 70 million transfer there. So I mean, there's 200 million euros, we'll say, plus or minus 20 or 30 million. That's a lot of money. And Borussia Dortmund have typically in the past years of past given up those players, right? They've sold those players.
They'll go, but the question is do they stay one more year?
If they stay another year,
after winning a cup and push for the league.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, you have a bit of an aging Munich squad. Nagelsmann coming in. What is Nagelsmann? I like Nagelsmann, but realistically, what has he done? He hasn't won anything. And he was at Hoffenheim, and they're not going to get it. And I liked him at Hoffenheim, and I've liked him in Leipzig. He kind of got out of coach this match, in my opinion. And I look at Niko Kovac, the guy who took over, before the current Munich manager, and Kovac beat Munich in the Pokal before he left. Mm-hmm. So he had the same highlight and ability, on a stage to show that he was worth the new job that he was getting in. And Frankfurt beat Munich, and it's the same thing. Munich, it was a better squad than Frankfurt. Everyone knew it. Everyone thought it was going to be a slaughter. He ended up winning it, and then he went on to his new job. Same thing here. Dortmund, they're attacking wise, they're better for sure.
Yep.
Defensive wise, I don't think so.
Right.
Attacking wise, for sure. But the way that Dortmund was able to counter, and the way that they went at them, and how they used Haaland and how they used Sancho, completely cracked open Leipzig to the point where they couldn't do anything the first half, and then the second half, some stuff came back, and it's not on the coach or the manager to score the goals, but he made the right subs. But there's question marks, I think, about Nagelsmann. I really do. I don't know if I think he'll do good, but there's no guarantee there.
There's no guarantee. Is he going to get money to spend? Is he going to be able to bring it in, change?
He's never operated a club this big. He's never really won anything of note. Yes, he's done well, and yes, I think he's a good coach. But the question is he up for this level of task? I don't know. So Dortmund, if they keep the squad that they have, who's to say that they can't push for the title next year?
They keep this squad intact. I think they can absolutely do it. It's another year. Yep. This year's another year under their belt of experience for those young players. Mm-hmm. As we said, you got Jude Bellingham in the middle. You got Sancho out wide. Marco Reus is obviously not young, but he's the linchpin of everything that holds everything together. Haaland.
Speaking of Bellingham too, how about another bit of a card for him being a bit of a feisty player in the middle, and he's just gotten off of a red recently for doing the same stuff. He's kind of getting stuck in there going at guys.
I love it. I love it. I love seeing 17. The central midfield do that. 17 years old. I mean, guys, don't forget, 17 years old. To put that into perspective, there's 2 young 17-year-olds playing here in the MLS who people are going crazy about. Mm-hmm. That's great, and don't get me wrong. I'm keeping my eyes on those young players as well, because they're fun to watch. But Jude Bellingham is 17 years old, playing in the Bundesliga, and who did a lot of good work in the Champions League, right? So, man, 17 years old and playing on that level is crazy to think. And if he can help Haaland stick around and Sancho stick around, that you're right. Next year could really, it could be fun to watch. I'd love to see those guys move to bigger clubs and have great careers and earn lots of money, and be on the stage every week. But I think it's more fun for a year or two to see them stick around.
And I would argue that Dortmund's not really a small club either.
I agree. No, I agree. In fairness, you're right. You're
right. So it's everyone's going, you're going to move this guy's going to move this guy, and I think they will. I mean, they will eventually move, but who's to say that they want to stay for one more year? Right. Who's to say that Dortmund, looking at this, doesn't go, hey, we have something here that we can win a cup. Yeah, hold off a year. Who's to say that people have the capital for this? Sancho's price tag just went like this.
Oh, skyrocketed.
You know what I mean? Like, so, on the back of the COVID year, with no fans in the stadium, no concessions, no tickets being sold and all that. who's got the money? You know,
That's
maybe,
a good point,
you know?
but I think what it is, Borussia Dortmund, their business model for the past several years is grooming these young kids up and then selling them, right? A la Christian Pulisic, right? Taking an unknown American kid in, grooming him up, and all of a sudden selling him for 60 million pounds to Chelsea. So yeah, it's just their business model. I think we're expecting it. Hopefully they can kind of buck that trend and not sell these guys, and maybe wait another year and see if they can go ahead and challenge Munich.
And that's my point. I think they will sell them, but I think they might. I think there's a strong case for holding them for one more year just to win the cup. Now, speaking of young players, the most important thing with this match was 87th, 88th minute, a 18-year-old Gino Reyna got put in for critical time. Critical, but however, yeah, okay. However, him stepping on the field and playing technically makes him, and unless somebody sold me a bag of beans when I heard this, technically makes him the youngest American to play in a domestic cup final.
Yes.
So hats off to him, and he actually played pivotal in different games, so it wasn't just the human victory cigar at the end.
He did play in the game this past weekend against Leipzig, and I thought he did very well.
He did very well.
Yeah. So I mean, he's 18, is it? Brilliant young American player, stepping onto the field and making history. It seems like this year we've just had history made by these young Americans. Again, it's big. Yeah, he didn't score a goal. He didn't play a bulk of the minutes. He played several minutes, but it is big, and it's going to help. And another player that they're grooming up who will eventually move on, but hopefully will stick around for a couple of years with this group. So,
and I think his opportunity is eventually when that Sancho time comes, or if it comes next year or eventually the year after,
he'll step into those shoes. Absolutely,
he's the next guy to jump in the fray. And at his age, I think it's smart for him just to wait and take that opportunity and then excel in a club that is like that, who grooms their young players and then wants to give them opportunities.
Yep, agreed. Well, so obviously 4-1 Borussia Dortmund take the Volker Cup there. Congratulations to them.
Number five.
So congrats. Again, we hope that team stays together. There's still a few games left in the Bundesliga season. I believe, is it 2 or 3? Two. It was 3 after last week. You're right. So 2.
Yeah.
If Dortmund can win and tie, I think they get 3 points, 4 points. They stick and they into that 4th spot and they get into the Champions League. And that almost, that just, Holland then has a huge decision to make. Does he leave? Does he stay? So obviously this past weekend, Munich wrapped up their
that one could say
in a row. Is it?
One could say wrapped up. That was
wrapped up the championship. The Bundesliga.
They kind of hit him hard. Gladbach got punched in the head a little bit. Lewandowski had his 3 goals. He's, I believe, one away.
He's one away from the number 40, which Gerd Muller in the 71-72 season
2 games
set
to do
that
it.
record. Yeah,
and I think he'll do it next week for sure.
Oh, I think he absolutely will. Yeah,
I think that's the only reason why you want to turn into the Munich game is actually to see that go down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good match. Good, again, demonstration from Munich and how powerful they can be against a team like that. And it'll be interesting to see what Nagelsmann does with all the pieces and players that he has.
And he's got big shoes to fill there. Hansi Flick, obviously, out of nowhere, all of a sudden.
You mean the new German national team?
Yeah, just signs a contract to be on the.
Everyone out of nowhere. I was surprised.
If you didn't realize,
I thought he was going to Tottenham.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, not a chance. If anybody thought that he left Munich and wasn't going to become the new German national team coach, you're living on a rock and don't know what you're talking about. But obviously signed that deal now. After the Euros, will become the new German national team coach there, Hansi Flick, who has won everything in sight in the last couple of years.
I'm excited to see him on the German national team, and I'm sure we can get into that more as the Euros get closer and the actual roster is named. But I think, as you said, he's won everything. He gets those type of players in his arsenal to use, and it'll be interesting to see what he's going to do going forward with the Mannschaft.
Yeah.
So
it will be interesting. But like we said, Nagelsmann stepping in big shoes to fill, and that board will not be happy if they don't if he doesn't bring that club along and continue winning trophies.
They don't have patience in Munich.
Yes.
Ask Niko Kovac.
Yeah.
So he's in Monaco now and actually doing well. We had Dortmund Leipzig last week, which someone predicted that right. How much millions did we make?
No, we didn't. Sorry, and we may have forgotten to bet on that one. I did watch that game, and it was a really good game. I'll be honest. It was. Again, it was one of those games. It could have gone either way, and at the end, Dortmund decided to step up and take it, and their young stars really took it to it. And
Sancho decided to take it.
Sancho again, man, becomes the man on the pitch, scoring goals. And as we talked about earlier, Haaland was in the stands, just watching the game. But man, was he into it! He was up and down, shaking his fists, jumping up and down when the goals were going in the back of the net, and you could tell he was happy to see his team win. Doesn't look like a guy who is not interested in how the team does and will be leaving at the end of the year. So. That was a good game. Yep.
Then the Berlin, the battle of the relegation, Berlin versus Bielefeld, the goalless draw.
Yeah.
You hit you post for hit, shots were wide, saves were made, 30 goals were scored over the weekend. Not one were scored in this match.
Right.
Not one.
Yeah, it was a bit sad to see.
They shall not pass, someone yelled out, and there was Gandalf in the middle of the field constructing walls of magic. It was actually, if you like goalless draws, and I do, I'm a glutton for punishment. I like close, that near miss. Almost there. That game had it. If you love awesome goals, that game did not happen.
That was not the game for you. No,
not the game for you. But the game for the awesome goal game, the last one that we had was Frankfurt-Mainz. And Mainz scored early, looked to have it sealed. Frankfurt came back a bit and had what I dubbed the breakdancing goal of the match, where the guy was on the ground, the ball bounced out, and he literally just from the ground did some type of spin, cartwheel, spin a Rooney on the ground, smacked it, and somehow went in right at the 86th minute to keep Frankfurt's Champions League hopes alive, because there's only a point, really, about a point separating them and Dortmund.
For those of you who haven't seen that goal, it is a wonder.
Great goal.
I think he takes a strike at the ball, falls over, the ball comes back, and as he's turning around, he's still on his backside. The ball kind of pops up, and he just gives it a kick from about the penalty spot, sails over the keeper's head into the top corner. It's an absolutely phenomenal goal. You can give him 100 tries. He'll never be able to do that again.
He only needed the one.
He only needed the one. It was brilliant.
It was a great goal, and that was that player's actually first goal ever for Frankfurt, apparently too.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to score your first goal.
That's one way to do it. Hey, like I always tell the kids, just shoot, and maybe it accidentally goes in.
Yep.
And that was a case of that. He just shot, and it accidentally went in. So
and keeps their Champions League hopes alive.
Oh, yeah.
So good news there.
And I'm secretly somehow rooting for Dortmund to get in, Wolfsburg to bomb out, and Frankfurt to sneak in somehow. We'll see. But
see if that happens. 2 games left, as you said.
2 games.
Next week, the business end of the season, as we say.
Next week's matches. Shall we go into them?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. We got if we break it up, we have the bottom end of the table, and then we have the top end of the table, and then everything in the middle. Just watch Stuttgart; they're the best team, anyways. So if for the middle games, anyways, bottom end, you got Hoffenheim is taking on Bielefeld.
Yep.
Hoffenheim's not in danger, but it's Bielefeld who is. They're tied at the 31 points there. Kremik, the Hoffenheim player, solid player, 18 goals this season. Actually scores some brilliant stuff. Bielefeld, they win, they pull up. That's basically it. They're struggling.
Win or you're done.
They're win or you're done. If they're done, they're just going to sink further in the hole. Then we have Augsburg versus Bremen. Augsburg's they're on a 5-game slide. Bremen has been struggling. They look good in the Pokal, but outside of that, they've been really struggling. They are tied at 31 points with Bielefeld, so they kind of need the win as well to pull themselves forward. We're going to have one Josh Sargent probably score a goal. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. But I do like Bremen, so I hope they can stay up. I hope they can stay afloat there.
Yep.
But on Augsburg, actually, they're 33 points, so they're slightly above Bremen.
Still got to win and get points to
a little bit
keep,
dangerous there. Yeah.
Yep.
Then you got Cologne versus Berlin. Berlin is on a tremendous roll. Berlin, I thought, was going to be struggling because of the COVID restrictions and the coming back.
Yep.
They have really showed their strength. They haven't lost in the 7 matches, but you have what apparently the Sam Allardyce of the German league and one Mr. Funkel, who's brought on to hopefully keep Cologne afloat. It's hit or miss with them. They need a win because they need to get into that relegation, the playoff match. So similar to the Premier League, similar but different. There's a relegation playoff match between the 16th team and number 3. So it's just a one and done. It's just those two, and that's it. So they're below that. Bielefeld owns that spot right now. They want to get up. The goal is to get up, and then you'll play the 3rd place team, which is Greuther Fürth right now, with a one Julian Green, who used to play for Stuttgart. And that's how everything's connected to Stuttgart.
Yes. So, I love how you bring everything back to Stuttgart. It's crazy.
The heart of football. Yeah. And then on the other end, you got Mainz versus Dortmund. Yep. And Mainz isn't a slouch. Mainz, you have to go back to February when Mainz actually lost last. They've been playing well.
So that's going to be a hell of a game right there.
That is the game, in my opinion, to watch.
Dortmund coming off 2 solid wins against Leipzig. A great team, Leipzig. So they got 2 solid wins coming off there. But if Mainz haven't lost in the last couple of months, I mean, that's going to be a hell of a matchup. And again, Borussia Dortmund need to get points to claim that 4th, to stay in that 4th spot for the Champions League.
On the other end, Frankfurt is playing Schalke. Now, maybe Schalke can get that 3rd win.
No, that's
maybe they can do it. I mean, they tried. They didn't look bad against Berlin, but no.
Frankfurt's going to end up taking that one. It's almost a guarantee, right? Yeah. I mean, you got to say that. So. And they think they've got a solid chance of getting into that Champions League spot.
They're still not. So if Frankfurt wins and Dortmund ties against Mainz, Frankfurt jumps. If Frankfurt beats Schalke and Mainz ties against Dortmund, not sure if that's how I said it before. Frankfurt jumps Dortmund. Right there, boom! They're back in that Champions League spot, and Dortmund's down. So it's a bit of a must-win for Dortmund there. Yeah. And it should be a good match because Mainz, like I said, has been playing very, very well. They've been getting stuck in. They've been drawing and winning, but you got to go back to February since they haven't done that. They've been on a roll. They were in the relegation spot and has clearly worked their way out and is down the middle of the pack and doing well.
Lots of games coming up this week to look forward to for the Bundesliga. Highly recommend. Again, all games on ESPN Plus. You can find a lot of the highlights if you missed the games in the 10 to 15 minute packages. As our expert pointed out last week, that's a pro tip. And I will say ESPN do a very nice job of putting those highlight packages together. Highlight packages are great, but it doesn't give you the full story of the game. So do what I do. Try to watch the entire game. Get some of those games. The Dortmund game again this way. It'll be 3 weeks, 3 games in a row. I'm going to try to watch them just because just important games that they're playing right now.
Yeah,
and it's fun to watch those kids play. I got to say, I think our Klinsmann discussion, we'll call it. I think it'll be an argument. Essentially, we'll end up.
There's no argument. He's the best thing that happened to America's soccer because he's from or played for.
I get.
Family has a bakery where.
Okay, I was gonna say Tottenham, but in Stuttgart, yes.
Stuttgart, there you go.
The worst thing that happened to American soccer was Jurgen Klinsmann. I think we'll save that for another time, maybe next week. Maybe we'll do a separate Bundesliga chat time talking about Jurgen Klinsmann and his time here in America.
Wonderful time. Still a comment.
Again, different opinions on that. For now, I think we'll call it a day. And be sure, guys, to check in on the Facebook group. We have a lot of discussions on the Bundesliga, a lot of discussions on these games. Lots to come from the Bundesliga, and with the Euros coming up, I think Germany are going to be a fun team to watch. They're going to obviously one of the favorites, right? They're the favorites.
I mean, they'll enjoy lifting up the cup. Yes. It's a foregone conclusion, is it not?
It's coming home this year, folks.
Ask any German. They'll tell you.
No. It's coming home. It's coming back to England. So don't worry.
Back? Was it ever at England?
It's coming to England, my friends. Anyway, all right.
France has it.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks for joining, folks. Cheers.
Prost.